Hey everyone, this is Dr. Fields, the psychologist turned weight loss coach. I hope everybody is having a happy new year. Today, I want to talk about another aspect that is very, very important if you want to be successful on your weight loss journey. Basically, what I'm talking about today is setting yourself up for success. And in psychology, what we call this particular aspect is stimulus control. It's also environmental control, controlling triggers. So here's an example. I think I've mentioned before that nuts are a trigger food for me for binge types of episodes, binging. And so I keep nuts out of sight. In fact, I've even gone as far as to tell my wife, who does like nuts as well, she's not as nuts for nuts as I am, to hide them on me. I literally tell my wife, whenever you buy nuts, whatever they are, hide them on me. Put them somewhere where I will not find them. And then it makes it so much easier. Now, some of you may say, hey, isn't that like totally relinquishing any kind of self control? I mean, don't you want to be able to be in control of yourself? Absolutely. But give yourself a fighting chance. If there's one food that you know is so hard to resist, why tempt yourself? It's easy enough either A, not to buy it if nobody else in your household likes it, or B, if other people in your household like it, tell your spouse or your significant other to just put it somewhere where you're not going to find it. It's a simple kind of thing. Another kind of environmental control is when you're food shopping. First off, I should say, never food shop on an empty stomach. I don't know if you've heard that before, but it is so true. If you food shop on an empty stomach, you are going to come home with all sorts of crap that you don't need. So that's first off. But when you're food shopping, try to buy the bare necessities, like what you know you're going to eat for that week. A lot of times, we'll have this idea, well, I should buy this just in case some friends pop over and I need hors d'oeuvres, or just in case somebody feels like ice cream. And listen, if a situation ever comes up where it's a just in case type of situation, then run out to the store and get some stuff at that point. But set yourself up for success. Go to the food store and get the kinds of things that you know are healthy kinds of foods that you will consume for that week. And, buy pretty much just enough. If you have a big family and that's way too hard to do, then that's fine. But you certainly can still be cognizant of buying foods that you know are going to be triggering for you, are going to produce a lot of temptation, especially foods that your family would not even notice if you didn't have. And a lot of times we'll use the excuse like, well, I should have an extra bag of chips around in case the kids want them. And meanwhile, you have kids that aren't into chips at all. So you had to get real with yourself, as my great grandmother used to say. Thinking about controlling the environment as best as you can. If you have an alcohol problem, you probably don't want to spend too much time at a bar, right? It makes sense. And a lot of people with severe alcohol problems don't keep alcohol in the house. And it makes sense, right? So when we look at food, we should think of it kind of in the same way. Like, let's keep healthy stuff in the house. Let's keep what we need in the house and we know we're going to consume for the week. And for our family members that love to indulge in certain kinds of foods or just like to eat certain kinds of foods that are triggering for us, come up with some kind of system so they're not in your face and tempting you. A lot of us don't need to go to the extreme of hiding food. I know it sounds funny, but you know, some of us, all we have to do is simply just put the food out of sight, and that's enough for us, and that's fine. But you give yourself a fighting chance. Set yourself up for success. The other thing I want to talk about is exercise. So, a lot of times people never get going with an exercise program because it just seems to be too much of a hassle. Okay? And so we go back to the same premise of setting yourself up for success. If it's such a hassle to get in the car and drive to the gym or walk to the gym if you're in some kind of city, then spend a few bucks on some cheap exercise equipment, a couple pair of dumbbells, maybe a stationary bike. Make it convenient, and don't put it in like a room that you'll never go in. You know, we have like sometimes these storage rooms that we never go in. If it's out of sight, it's the same thing with the food, right? For exercise, it works in the opposite way, right? We want it to be in sight. So keep the exercise bike and the dumbbells in a room where you're going to see them every day. Now, for a lot of you, you could make it to the gym if you really wanted to. And so, what can you do to motivate yourself more? Well, you can join a gym on the way home from work so that you're literally just about passing by the gym. Okay? You can put a calendar on your refrigerator that specifies which days you're going to go to the gym. And this calendar should be an all-in-one. It shouldn't just be for working out. It should be like different tasks that you have to do or errands. Or if you keep a calendar in your phone, the same kind of thing with a reminder that today's the gym day. And so that this becomes fresh in your mind and it becomes, scheduled in a sense. Setting yourself up for success. Doing exercises that you enjoy, which would be great, but if there's no exercise that you really enjoy, at least not yet, then find ones that aren't so painful. Find ones that you could tolerate. Because again, it might sound great in theory, but if you're not going to do them because eventually you just don't like them anymore, then what's the point? There are certain weightlifting exercises that people, and science and research show to be some of the best exercises for muscle development or just, for the best bang for your buck because they're a full body exercise like deadlifts. I don't do deadlifts. Do you know why I don't deadlift? Because I hate that exercise. And so if I know it's deadlift day, I'm probably going to skip the gym because I don't like doing that exercise. So that's setting myself up for failure. And I know some fitness gurus would say, hey, man, you just got to get used to it and do some deadlifts. No, I don't have to get used to it. I'm only going to do exercises that I at least find tolerable, and I'm going to try to do ones that I really enjoy. So that is what this is really about. It's controlling your environment or setting up your environment or setting yourself up in a way that's going to make it so much more likely that you are going to be successful. Think about what is going to work for you, what you need to do to help yourself really stick to the plan. With exercise, another thing I want to say is the time of day. If you're not a morning person and you're like, hey, I'm going to wake up at 4 in the morning and go to the gym, that's not setting yourself up for success because you know that's not going to last. And if you are the type of person that once you're home and that's it, you do not want to go back out, then planning on exercising in the evening after dinner, where you have to get out of your house and go to the gym, that's not great either. And even if you have the equipment at home, but you're the type that just wants to unwind at the end of the day, you have to think of what is the best time of day. One more thing I want to say about exercise. You also want to be aware of times where exercise can fit into your schedule in a way that helps reduce your vulnerability to, let's say, binging, right? So, the two most common times of day when people binge are in the late afternoon, like around 4 o'clock or so, and then in the evening after dinner. So, if the late afternoon is a binge time for you, what a perfect time to get out of the house and go to the gym. What you're doing is you're totally flipping the script, so to speak, right? Instead of sitting at home and putting more calories, extra unnecessary calories into your body, you're going to the gym and burning calories. You're distracting yourself. And after the gym, you're going to feel really good about yourself. And chances are you're going to stick to the plan, the eating plan for the rest of the day. And this can even help with late night binging. If you can make sure that you get that exercise program in, you feel good about yourself. You feel like, hey, I just busted my butt at the gym. Do I really want to blow it at 8 o'clock at night? I only have a couple more hours before I go to sleep. What is the point of that? Why would I want to do that? I've already invested time and energy into my fitness plan today. So really thinking about what you need to do to make sure that you stand the greatest likelihood of succeeding. This is Dr. Fields. I hope you all have a happy and healthy new year, and I will talk to you soon.